Welcome to the All Metal Mode podcast with your host, Michael Hare. Tune in every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern with co-host Gypsy Jules, and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with Matt Hoffman as we talk to guests, discuss metal detectors, equipment, and everything treasure related. Feel free to join in the discussion in the chat room during the show, and please, if you like what you hear, we'd appreciate you taking a moment to hit that like button and share the link with your friends. We hope you enjoy the show. The All Metal Mode podcast starts right now.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike here, and you're listening to the All Metal Mode podcast. Tonight, Matt might be joining later. We had the show all set and ready to go. Some family emergency came up. I think everything's okay though. It'll be fine. But he'll if he can join in later, he might. But everything's good. You can find us on Facebook at All Metal Mode as well as All Metal Mode Podcast UK. All Metal Mode is every Monday and Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and All Metal Mode UK is every Thursday at 8 p.m. GMT time or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your metal detecting friends about us. We'd really appreciate it. You can listen to the show on Spreaker. You can listen live, of course. You can go on any time Spreaker and listen to it, or you can download it to listen on the go. You can also find us at iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube. There's other affiliates. So if you Google All Metal Mode, eventually it will come up. Dirt Digest magazine, the October issue is out, and it's a free online magazine. Check us out at dirtdigestmagazine.com. We're always looking for articles and find submissions. I talked to Mike last night. Sorry, I lost my headphones. And we will have some giveaways for a best article. Probably be a towel and a decal. We're going to see if we can come up with something else. And for the best submitted find. And like for the September issue right now, we have, you can go out to Dirt Digest Magazine, the Facebook group, and we have a poll up for the best submitted article. And we have a poll up for the best find submission. So help us pick the winners there. We'd really appreciate it. And let's see. Don't forget. Oh, there was something else I wanted to say about that. I didn't write it down. Oh boy. Oh, I'll never remember now. The big one. We are giving away a Quest X10 this month. To enter to win, go out to Dirt Digest Magazine on Facebook, and we have the post up, and you simply share. There's a picture. You share the picture to your timeline, and then you just pick a number between 1 and 1,000,000. 1 in 1,000,000 came about because although we're not there yet, here within probably the next 10 or 15 days tops, I would say, we're going to hit 1,000,000 views for the year, which the guys started it. Mike and Craig started, I think, back in April. So it's been a huge success, and thank you all that take the time to read the magazine. We appreciate it. So go out there and join the group if you're not on there and enter to win the X10. So there we go. Dirty letters, All Metal Mode. If you want a handwritten letter, would like to get into that, please do so. I joined the group. I've gotten a couple really cool letters. I got to send some out. I've been crazy busy. No excuse. I go to the mailbox every day looking for Jeff's apology, and I never see it. It's never there, so I just figure he don't love me or something. Whatever. So tonight, we kind of changed what's going on. Matt obviously can't make it, so we've had a spouse that's really not been happy. She's been trying to get on the show for weeks now. about her husband who metal detects and all the crazy stuff that's going on. And so this one's about disgruntled spouses within metal detecting. So yeah, so Katie, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Hey, Mike.
There you are. Now, I want everybody to know this is Katie Yearly, not our very own Katie Yeary, who is in chat every week. This is a completely different Katie with an L added to her name, just so everybody knows. And your husband's name, what's his name?
We'll call him Jay for tonight's show.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's just call him Jay. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us all about Jay. Tell us what a bad spouse he is when it comes to metal detecting.
And that's why I'm here. Like, I really need to talk to a group of metal detectors and just see, like, what is going on. Mm-hmm. So Jay started metal detecting before I did, and he would just bring me along and have me watch, which of course turned into me carrying his heavy backpack.
Wow, he had you carrying his backpack?
Everything.
Oh, that's not right.
Right. Then it gets to the point where I'm digging up his holes to try to get his finds. Well, when you dig up holes and you start finding things, then you decide, hey, this is kind of cool. So I had to beg him to get me a metal detector so I could start metal detecting on my own and finding my own finds.
Right.
But of course, with the metal detector comes my own backpack and my own shovel and my own things, which means he'll have to start carrying his own.
Didn't you tell me that not only did you have to carry your own backpack, but at first he was making you carry his backpack too?
Yes.
Oh, that's not right. That's not right. I'm just saying.
That struggle is real.
Didn't he push you down to the ground one time? You found something good? And he took it from you?
Yes.
Right.
Right. That actually happens in metal detecting. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, I'm down digging up the hole, and I, find a ring, and he tries to take it out of my hand. So I actually have to run with it and, make sure that I can get a look at it first. Otherwise, I would lose that.
That's not even right. Not even right.
Right. And then, Mike, so he goes on this podcast, and he orders me a towel, right? It's an all metal mode. I don't know if you've heard of that podcast. It's super great.
Right.
But orders me an all metal mode podcast towel. It has like the logo on it. Super cool. It's like the coolest neon green color ever.
Yeah, I heard that's the best metal detecting podcast out there. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's real. And the towel's super cool and really, really soft and green. That's real.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
But it comes in the mail, and he says that it's his towel. And then
that's not even right.
That and he puts it in his bag. So I have to go steal it for my own.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, if he's going to say he got it for you and didn't take it, that's not even right. What other kind of mean, horrible things has he done?
Well, so we go to a place that I suggested and I got us permission for. So, we go there, and I think okay, we're going to split it up. We're going to each take a side, do the proper etiquette thing. If you listen to last night's podcast.
Right.
So we start metal detecting, and I find something that sounds really good. And, I start digging it, and of course he runs right over to see what it is that I found. And I dig it up, get something really cool. Well, the next thing I know, he's metal detecting in circles around me.
Wow.
trying to find all the things that I'm missing.
Wow, that's
so
not
I kind
nice.
of like, hey, right. I'm like, you can't do that. But see, we metal detect with our headphones on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he does, and this is done there and other places. When he has his headphones on, he pretends that he can't hear me with his headphones on. But what
Oh, wow. Wow.
is that I metal detect too with headphones on, so I can tell that
Yeah,
he can
that's
hear everything.
not, yeah, that's not right. Not right at all. Has he, how many of your finds has he stolen? I heard that you bought yourself a really nice detector and he took it and gave you a cheap one he bought for himself. Did that happen?
So that happened.
Yeah.
It happened with the pin picker and the shovel too.
You're
for a long time.
Jeff Urey, who is not Jay that we're referring to tonight, says, Katie, Jesus is listening. Oh goodness. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, so I don't know. Sounds like a pretty bad guy. I don't know that I would continue hunting with him. I mean, you've told me he's a pretty good guy otherwise, but when metal detecting, he's pretty inconsiderate, it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and that's, the hard part, when it comes to etiquette, like, what do you do? And that's why I'm here. What do you do when you have a metal detecting buddy who's also your spouse, who you're just having these kind of issues with?
Well, sometimes, I hate to say it, but you have to resolve issues like this with pain. And I know he bought that new fancy shovel for him. If you can get it in your hands, I'd maybe whack him over the back of the head just once. That would be my suggestion.
For sure.
That would be my suggestion. That's what I would do.
You think that would work?
Well,
I mean,
it's worth. It'll definitely make you feel better. It'll definitely make you feel better. I can't believe George is in. George said he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. But just so everybody's clear, we're talking to Katie Yearly, not Katie Yeary, and her husband Jay, not to be confused with Jeff Yeary. We're not talking about the Yearys. We're talking about the Yearlys.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know them.
Now, he left you in the woods once, didn't he, over in Pennsylvania?
He did. I don't know if y'all read the article in Dirt Digest yet. If not, you should. It's called Chaz's Place. But it's a creepy place. Read the article. You get the feels when you're there, for real. Mm-hmm. So we were there, and it's probably the place that we go to. It's at least, it's more than half a mile, like off of an already vacant road. So, and there's like really old gravestones. It's a really creepy place. Read the story. And the next thing that I know, like, we're out there, metal detecting. I've got both our book bags, trying to see what we can find. And the next thing I know, I look up, he's gone.
Wow.
I'm there by this old homestead all alone, and he is nowhere to be found.
That's not right. That is totally wrong. That's not typical, Katie. Jeff is saying I owe him an apology letter, and I don't know why, because we're talking about Jay. We're not talking about you, Jeff. We're on with Katie Yearly, not Katie Yeary. Yeah, why is her husband getting weird?
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know. Totally different people. Well, maybe it's because you gave it up when you said your husband has an article in the magazine. Maybe.
No. My husband, he read the article in the magazine, and we go to that place that Jeff referred to in the article. Maybe I worded that weird.
I got you. Yeah, that's way different. Way different. We're good. Yeah, good times. Yeah, I don't know. I think, hopefully you caught the episode last night where we were talking about etiquette, and Yeah, he's got some issues. I would maybe enroll him in some therapy classes too. I think.
Oh yeah, do they have like metal detecting training courses? You know how they have like dog training courses? Like maybe there's some kind of training course that I could get him to.
You know what? I don't know, but we should definitely look into that. Maybe we should start that and we could name it after him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Jay's School for Detectresses or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we should stop. We've made enough fun of him, and I do owe him an apology letter. We had, Mike Fusion has been saying, "Oh my God, wouldn't it be so much to have a disgruntled spouses on?" And I'm like, that would be awesome, but we couldn't really do that. And Matt ditched me at the last second tonight. Like I said, he had family stuff come up, and I don't know. It was on my mind, and I know Jay can take a joke. So I thought let's poke fun a little bit. Now, is he available? Can we?
I'll have to sit around. I'll have to say it's really hard to even pretend to be disgruntled at my husband Jeff, because he really is so great.
Right.
And metal detecting with him has been so much fun. Like we have a blast when we, go out together and we check out places like Chaz's place from the magazine, or all the different places. Like we do run over to each other when we get a find, and we will help each other like dig holes and pinpoint and that sort of thing.
It is awesome when you can share it with a spouse.
So much fun.
Yeah, when you can share it with a spouse, with us with kids and stuff, when I go to Ohio, Steph will get out with me a little bit, but not too much. But it's nice when we go out and dig together. And, the best digging partner is a spouse for sure. I agree. It's a blast. And that's great that you and Jeff have that and that you've gotten into it. George is trying to turn it R-rated here. I bet it happens, George. I bet it happens. Or on the beach. They go to the beach up on Lake Erie a lot.
We won't tell.
When you guys, I will say, when you guys, if we can get together when I come back to Ohio, that is not allowed. Yeah. Oh, Jeff says, Jeff left to go get dinner because you were supposed to make dinner and didn't. Oh, that's funny.
Well, that's a true story.
Yeah, Jeff said too many ticks, so that's good. Yeah, I don't want to, be involved in any of that shenanigans. Yeah, ticks are no good. But all joking aside, it is great that you two share that and get to enjoy that together, and I it'll just get better. You both. It's been really cool. How long have you two been coming to the podcast and stuff? Maybe a month and a half? Well, a couple months. Like coming into chat.
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah, I've already seen you two like getting better and learning more. It's been a lot. I'm sorry, Brian Dirtfish in Texas said digging with my wife would be like taking ants to a picnic. Oh, that's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny. Taking ants to a picnic. But no, I'm glad you two get to enjoy it together. That's a great thing. Absolutely great thing. And it's definitely cool to be able to talk to you both and like when Jeff will call me and stuff. Hey, Jeff, I know you're listening even though you're on the road. Hurry back home. I'd like to get you on and talk about Chaz's place and talk about the ORX and some different things. So drive home.
Right.
Have you...
Drive safe. Drive safe, Jeff.
Yes. I mean, all joking aside, are you good at playing in the dirt and stuff, or does it like gross you out and stuff? I know like the grubs do. I mean, I've been detecting over 20 years and the grubs still creep me out. But like, are you a woman who like gets dirty and like hands dirty and stuff and don't like it, or? Cause I mean, I asked because that came up in the chat about somebody's wife would be like, "Ooh, I get dirty." Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I don't like when I feel like I cut a worm with a shovel. Like, I don't like when there's life down there, but I don't mind being in the dirt. Like, it's super cool to dig up something that is in the ground. So I don't mind it.
That's cool. Steph's the same way. She doesn't care. I've met women, like Gypsy. Gypsy will get dirty, muddy, wet in the water. She don't care. I can guarantee Amanda's the same way, although I haven't hunted with her. The one that cracks me up is I don't know. Elizabeth Mueller Parsons. She's really attractive. And she's a part-time model. I know she's done some modeling, and she just doesn't strike me as somebody who would play in the dirt. And not only does she go out metal detecting stuff, like I've seen her post so many pictures of like mud on her face, like her nickname should be Pigpen, because rarely does she post a picture of her metal detecting where she doesn't have dirt on her. She reminds me of Pigpen from Peanuts. Mm-hmm. You still there?
Yep, I'm here.
I didn't know if he was in trouble or what. If he finally made it back home.
Yeah, in trouble.
Oh.
You're in trouble? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Well, just tell him I put you up to it. You didn't even want to. We just had to. Yeah, I needed something to fill in, but tell him we want to get him on. So hurry up and eat dinner or whatever he's got to do, and then get on the show with us.
You ready to get on a show, Jeff?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, what?
He's preparing himself. He's almost ready to come on. He's super great. He's the best metal detecting partner I've ever had. The only one that I've ever had. But no, we really do. We have a great time. We joke around a ton if you're a part of the podcast and the chat. You see that every single time we chat. Like, we are definitely jokers.
Mm-hmm.
I did steal his All Metal Mode podcast towel. That was real. I took that from him.
Right.
But
here real soon, you guys will at least have a Dirt Digest magazine towel as well.
Yeah, so I'll get that one too, which is great.
You'll have two now. You'll have two.
Yeah. How cool.
Yeah, how cool is that? Are you going to let him borrow either one of them, or are they just
if he's nice, then
nice?
I will.
Yeah. For sure. I'm really looking forward to, it's sneaking up on us really quick. So like 15 days, I'll be leaving for Ohio. So hopefully we can all get together and I love to joke and play, but out metal detecting, I'm a little more serious, and no shenanigans, no putting coins under your coil cover or anything like that. And I really try not to make fun. I won't make fun of inexperience and stuff like that. So I hope you guys aren't nervous. If we get together, we'll have fun, and hopefully we can teach you guys some stuff and all that. I'll probably still make fun of Jeff, though. He makes it fun to make fun of him. But he can make fun of me, too. He can make fun of me, too.
Oh, he will. I'm sure he will. No, we're definitely looking forward to it. And that's another fun part of metal detecting together, too, is, like coming on the podcast and, chatting on there and just building friendships together, too, has been a blast.
Yeah, Brian said, an FYI, Mike does hunt without pants. That's true. But I wear like boxer briefs, so I mean it's almost like shorts.
Thanks
it's not
for the
a big
warning, Brian. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel a cold coming on already.
I mean, they're long underwear. They don't look. They look like shorts, so it's safe. Yeah. It's all good. Will said, I've never heard this before. Will's in chat, and he said it was 90 today in Northeast Ohio. My sweat was sweating. That's fun.
Yes, well, I'm in Ohio too. It's crazy. I'm Northeast Ohio also, but crazy weather for October.
Don Scott in Indiana said 96 here today. Wow. Now, Mike Fusion was telling me, he showed me the forecast, and today I know it was 90-something, in his part of Indiana, it's supposed to be in the 60s come Friday. Like, wow, what a huge difference. Yeah, Brian said it was 10,000 here in Texas. True story. True story. That happens, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting together with you guys. I'm looking forward to getting together with Matt and putting a good spanking on him. As a matter of fact, I've got a $200 Mojave Tesoro, and I changed the shafts on it tonight right before the podcast, and it's going to be a lot of fun kicking Matt's butt with a $200 detector while he's, running around with, $800,000 detectors trying to beat me. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, boy.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. He gets stressed, so it's a lot of fun to watch him sweat. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What's your man doing? Time to hurry up. Eat. Need him on the podcast.
All right. I think he's ready, Mike. I think it would be really cool if Jeff shared the story about how we started metal detecting, or how we started metal detecting, because I think it's a really cool story. So I can pass it off to him so he can share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the barking, everybody.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going? I
Good, how are
apologize for that. Katie wanted to call in and say, and I'm like, I don't think we should do that, Katie. I don't think that's right. And she's like, come on, let's poke fun at Jeff. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. No, we were just having fun. She talks about you so much, about how much fun she has detecting with you and stuff. But we have Mike suggested, if we could get some wives on to kind of joke, and so at the last minute today I thought, I wonder if I could get Katie on since Matt had to ditch me and stuff. But how did you get detected? I want to hear this story.
Yeah, well, it was a surprise having Katie on tonight. That's for sure. So very good there.
Is she in trouble? My little girl likes to get me in trouble, and she'll so I'll give her something she shouldn't have for breakfast, for example, and her mom will get home from work and say, "Mom, Michael let me have cookies. Is he in big trouble? Is she in big trouble?"
No, she's not too big of trouble. She apologized.
I put her up to it, and she was really struggling, and she's like, "But everybody's going to have to know it's a joke," and I'm like, Katie, of course they will, and we'll make sure at the end to say how much you really enjoy hunting with him and stuff. It was really tough to get her on. She wasn't going to do it. I just
feel bad for your listeners out there.
No, they're used to my shenanigans.
To hear this.
No, they like my shenanigans, I think. Well, or you can't make everybody happy all the time. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay, so tell me the story. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
So, I don't know. Go back. I think it was in December. Katie and I were going to go out to see a movie, and I was cleaning off her car with snow, and I had my fingers got cold, and I kind of like shook my fingers, and my wedding ring flew off into the snow in the driveway.
No.
And I was concerned that I was going to take the snowblower and blow it all off. So we actually skipped the movie that night, and I went out and bought a little metal detector at a local store here for about $40. And I found it right away, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to do this more often when the weather turns up. And then I kind of forgot about it, but then our family went on a vacation to the beach So I thought, oh, I'll just take my metal detector. And I was out on the beach, and I started getting weird looks because the metal detector I had didn't have any headphone jacks or anything. So it was just all audible noise. And I could tell very quickly I was annoying everyone with all the. So I said, well, I'm going to get me a metal detector that, has earphones. So I went out and I ordered me, and by that time I was really starting to get interested into it, and I like technology.
Very
so
cool.
I thought I want to spend a lot of money. And what I thought was a lot of money was an ORX for XP.
That is a lot of money.
So,
that is a lot of money.
So I like the all wireless.
Let me pause you on this real quick. What led you to the ORX? A great choice. I mean, everything I'm hearing is fantastic about that detector. But what led you? What really sold you on it? And what else did you look at?
Probably before. Hold on, Katie's just grabbing the phone. What? Well, when I started looking into the detectors, originally I was looking at the A series because I was just doing a Google search. What's a good detector to start with?
Okay.
And so I thought about getting that, but then I came across the ORX and I started reading about it, and it was super lightweight and it was completely wireless, no wires from the coil to the control, and no wires for the earphones.
Mm-hmm.
And what really got me was they said, it works with the Go Train app where you can track all your finds. And
I hadn't heard about that.
That was really interesting to me, which I don't think that is available yet. So maybe someone out there knows anything about it. They can say something. But
interesting.
Yeah, that, and there was a special going on that they would include the MI6 pinpointer with it for free. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that. So I got the ORX for $700 or something, and it came with the pinpointer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
you picked a good one. You really did. Everything. I haven't used one yet. When I get back to Ohio, I hope to use Matt's a little bit. Matt and I have been joking, and we give each other a hard time. But I think when he comes down, him and I are going to take some different detectors and set up some areas in a field spot and really test them and see. But that Matt has 15 plus detectors, and that's pretty much turned into his go-to field detector. So that says a lot because he uses a lot of different detectors and stuff, and so you definitely got a good one. And for Matt to like it, Matt's pretty particular. So that's great. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So the funny twist to this is I actually didn't tell Katie I purchased the ORX at the time. I was trying to find the right moment to tell her because at that point she didn't know anything about metal detecting and thought that the detector I had was more than enough.
Right.
So while I was waiting for the ORX to come in, I was still looking up metal detectors, and I happened to go on one of those buy-sell trade sites from Facebook, and I saw that someone local was selling an Ace 400 that was only used once. They just couldn't figure it out, and I offered them $100 for it, and they took it, or they accepted it. So I'm like, oh, great. I'll just go get that too. So as I'm talking to them, I see another one pop up, and someone else local was selling another Ace 400, but this one was brand new in a box that they never even opened. They had intentions to use it, but never did. And I offered her $150 for it, and she said okay. So I grabbed that one for $150. So all the while, I never told Katie I had purchased anything. So that was
smart man.
a weird conversation to have with her, letting her know that I bought 3 metal detectors.
Right.
Over $1,000. So that was very unique. So I guess she gets a pass for tonight's podcast because of that. Now we're even Katie. So
that's awesome. I want to say real quick, for somebody who sells metal detectors, I always tell people when they say they got to check with their wife and stuff, I always tell them it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. So I think you made the right choice there. I really do.
So yeah, I got the metal detectors, and now the next hurdle was, what do I do with them? How do I use them? So I started looking everywhere, trying to find podcasts, and I stumbled across All Metal Mode and of course some other podcasts out there. And for some reason, you and Matt just kind of stuck with me, and so I was listening to some of your old, archived podcasts, and we have a camp in Pennsylvania. It's about a 3-hour drive, and I'll just listen to those constantly. And Katie will be the one to tell you that she was rolling her eyes every time I turned it on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're such a nerd.
Oh, that's funny. And now she's getting into it.
Yeah, now it's just kind of stuck with her. So now she's in on it. I gotta say, Katie is she likes metal detecting, but I don't think she's quite got the bug yet. I don't think she eats.
I think she's getting there though, and I think I gotta tell you something. I feel really like I'm gonna put it right on the air, and I'm gonna put it out there because I think she's slacking. So I wanted to surprise you with something. So I overlaid some of your area, and I also hunted down the owners, and I want to get you guys in a field site. I overlaid off in like an 1856 map. And so when she was in the garage that day that we were talking, and it was all awkward and I felt all guilty, that's what we were talking about. But I'm telling you now, so you can get her butt in gear, she's even got phone numbers to some of the people. So
really?
You two, I told her I want you two to get into a field site. You get into a good one, and she's going to be hooked. I really think so, because she, that one night, like, she was driving home and she called and asked me questions and stuff. Like, she's got some really good questions, and I definitely see interest with her. You know what I mean? But I feel like maybe not you, but she's still in that stage where she's looking for something. And field hunting, you remember the conversation we had a few weeks ago about how easy field hunting is. That's where she's going to find something good, easy. And I'm telling you, you hold something in your hands 150, 200 years old, and you both are going to be, I truly do. I think that'll be the bug. That's when she's like, okay, now I get it. So I'm probably in trouble with her, but like,
Yes, you are.
Yeah. But I also feel like, okay, let's be getting on that. Come on, let's do it. But your county, there wasn't many fields in your area. So I don't remember the name of the county, but it's the one, like, we looked it up, and it's like 20 minutes away to these spots. Not the county, but to the actual spots. And there still wasn't much to overlay because there was a lot of woods and build up, but I did find probably 15 places or so from like an 1850 something map. And
wow.
I got a couple phone numbers for you too. And it'll have their addresses and all that stuff. So Katie's going to call. I told her to call. And what I do, I told her what I do. I just call and tell them my name, and I'm really interested in history and metal detecting. I was doing some research, found where a house was in your field in 1858. I'd be more than happy to come out and meet you first, but I didn't want to bother you. I thought I'd give you a call first. But hey, we'd love to come out and meet you. And that's been really successful for me, especially the places that are farther away. So yeah, if you I know it's deer hunting season and everything, but if you guys get a chance, get Katie out there to one of those, and she'll love it. She'll be hooked.
Yeah, I guess now I can't be mad at either of you. What a nice start. Thanks.
Yeah, there wasn't anything strange going on in the garage. I'm like, just tell him. Oh my God, now it's getting awkward. Tell him. And she's like, no. But I gave her those numbers, and I was excited because I was able to find a couple numbers, and we were talking about that. So yeah, I'm probably in big trouble. I'm sorry, Katie. She wanted to surprise. She said at first she hated surprises. And I'm like, but wouldn't it be an awesome surprise? And I talked her into it, and then I changed my mind because it kind of made me nervous. So my bad, Katie. You can hate me. You can hate me. Just get your man out there to one of them spots, and you two will have a blast.
Yeah, you can carry my backpack.
Yeah. And your digging towel. Don't forget your digging towel.
Yeah, and your digging towel, and you can take my shovel too, since you have so much practice, right? Well, that's cool.
Yeah, good. You guys get in. I'm not going to be back for like 16, 17 more days. If you guys can get into one of them spots, I'm telling you, it'll be good. It'll be fun. And you get her in one of those, and I'm telling you, she's great. It's such easy digging. One of Steph's first times was in a field, and yeah, Steph's in, and she's like, Mike can't ever keep a secret. True story. I'm horrible at it. Katie, if you would have acted a little quicker, I did really good at keeping the secret this long. But because I am horrible with secrets, but Steph, we went into a field and I've got 20 plus years. Matt's got 10 plus years. Tom, a guy in Ohio, a friend met up with us, and he's got a bunch of years. And Steph was kicking our butts. And she probably didn't have 10 hours on a metal detector. It's just finding that right area. And when you get in all that iron, just slow down and she'll find tons of stuff. Well, both of you should. I mean, they're not all guaranteed, and I've ran into field spots that aren't so good, but it's pretty rare. That's pretty rare. Yeah. Yeah, Steph knows me. Steph would have told you, Katie, I'm not good with secrets. It was a miracle I kept it that long. It really was. So, and I also want to tell everybody that Jeff has a really good article in this month's. We just released it today, Dirt Digest magazine. It's called Chaz's Place. And please don't forget, go to Dirt Digest magazine. You can please help us pick. Him and Terry Solomon both submitted articles that were ghost metal detecting related.
Terry's got a really good one.
I thought they were both good, really good.
I wish mine was more about metal detecting, but it kind of came around a little bit. I just don't have the experience yet, but
no, I thought it was really good. You know what?
Really got us going though.
I'll be really honest with you, Jeff. He submitted his first, and when I seen it, I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be the winner." I love that article. And then you submitted yours, and I'm like, "Oh, I really like this one." I didn't even think anybody could come close, and I really like your article. I'm being truthful. I was sitting here thinking, because I can pick too. I mean, I can pick, and I at this point, I don't know whose article I would pick. They're both that good. I really thought that. And but you can pick, if you go out to Dirt Digest magazine, you can pick which article is your favorite. You can also pick the best find submission. There's polls up for both, and also you can enter to win a Quest X10 metal detector will be given away at the end of the month. Mike said great article. Mike Fusion said great article. So yeah, speaking of spouses, I'm hoping when we come back that Steph will be able to get out with me and hunt some. Hopefully when you guys are back, maybe, or if you guys come visit, maybe we can go hunt all day, maybe do dinner or something, or go out to eat or something. All grubby. We can go all grubby.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. So what else? Here's a perfect opportunity on air to get back at her. I mean, she jumped right on board and was like, "Yeah, let's make fun of Jeff and make him out to a bad guy." You right now's your chance.
Oh man, Katie is the sweetest girl you ever meet. So it's hard to do that. But I guess I can say that, I probably saved you, Mike, from a lot of the really silly questions.
That's okay.
I said, make sure you run your questions by me first before you start typing away.
You know what? So, the fact that she's interested enough to ask questions,
yeah,
that's great. So, and I'll tell you, I'll tell her, and I'll tell anybody else out there. You can ask me stupid questions. I love to joke, or what you consider might be stupid or something. I won't make fun of you. I love to joke and have fun, but if you got a question, it's okay. Ask me. I remember when I started out, there's some questions looking back like, wow, that was pretty stupid, but I didn't know at the time, and that's okay. So, as much as I love to make fun, I want people to know, hey, if you got a question, email me, call me. I'll do my best to answer anything. Yeah. And Bill said it's a great read.
Yeah.
I agree. It was really, really good. I loved that article, and you had some great pictures too. And having Chaz's grave, that is why it looks like it was like etched into it or something.
Yeah, it was hand chiseled. So, and it actually took us a long time to actually figure out what that name was. We knew it was Chaz, but I couldn't quite make out his last name. There was another one next to it that was clearly written that was Petey Volk, a bark peeler, is all it said. And I was...
Did you say bark dealer?
Bark peeler. A bark peeler is what it was.
What's a bark dealer?
So they listed his profession. So I was doing a little bit more research back in that area where they did a lot of lumbering. Mm-hmm. He actually peeled bark, and that was for tanneries and such.
Wow.
The oils from the trees and stuff.
Now I wonder why he got buried there.
Well, I don't know either. There's so much about it that I'm still trying to figure out, but he was actually buried there after Chaz was buried. So he moved in with Chaz's wife. So, so that was after Chaz passed away. So that was unique. Maybe he had a little fling with his wife.
Now he was a black man, correct?
Yeah, Chaz was. I'm not sure what Petey was.
Now was Chaz's wife white or black? Do you know?
She was actually Indian.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, and I've come to find out about more about it is he was an Indian doctor, and he used a lot of his spiritualism, religion, as well as the herbs and animal byproducts, I guess, for his medicines. And his homestead where he was on was actually an Indian campground at one point.
Oh.
So,
At what time period do you know?
he was in there in the 1880s, and so I'm assuming the Indians were plenty before him. So I'm not quite sure what time period they were in yet.
Huh. That's really
But yeah,
cool.
he was known as the Indian doctor.
That is wild.
And,
now, wasn't he in the Civil War?
Yeah, he fought in the Civil War, and then I think the obituary said he studied medicine in Cincinnati.
Oh wow!
And then went back to Pennsylvania. So
wow, that's interesting. So he wasn't. So he was like a legit doctor.
yeah, I don't know if he was officially licensed, but I know he studied medicine. He was one of those, spiritualistic doctors, and didn't use the medicines at the time. So.
So that's really
Married
cool.
an Indian. His patients were people that were not very wealthy, and according to the obituary, I guess he had a whole colony of patients that actually stayed at one of his farmhouses there. So.
Wow, that's interesting. When you told me like he was a witch doctor, I just kind of assumed like no formal training. But that's pretty wild. I mean, at least he went to, even if he didn't become a doctor, he had some training in it. And pretty interesting. Do you know the time period he went to school?
No, that I don't know. I would say probably 1860s to 1870s, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think that's pretty rare for a black man at the time to be going to school to be a doctor. That's just wild.
Yeah, I was able to find him listed in a bunch of court records where his neighbors, landowners around him, were suing him like crazy. And interesting enough that he lost all of his lawsuits. So I didn't know if you just kind of wonder if race played a factor in that, especially during that time period as well.
Yeah, that is wild. How neat is that? I love your article where you talk about you felt like you got approval to be on the property and stuff. That was really neat. Like, I don't know. Although I heck, the last time I went deer hunting, I pretty much just went and sat in the woods and watched a little button buck play with a squirrel. I got to be honest with you, it's not really my thing anymore. But I grew up hunting and fishing, and you spend enough time in the woods and stuff, it becomes peaceful, a nice place to be. But you can freak out. I mean, I've been in places where I've had bad feelings, or stuff's not right, and you're more alert and felt like you're being watched. So I get that completely. I actually hunted on property from where a guy a few years earlier had murdered a lady and left her part of her body on this property. I had no idea, none whatsoever. And boy, I'll tell you what, talk about feeling odd. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze this. I think I didn't get it muted in time. Katie said if Steph wants to chime into the disgruntled wife episode, which she so would, she's getting ready to do something right now. She's got an appointment to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
her biggest.
I think we're lucky for that.
I'm pretty lucky. She lets me do my thing. What she gets tired of is metal detectors everywhere. We're tripping over them, and closets full. You can't walk into the walk-in closet, and she handles it pretty good. She takes it pretty good. I changed my little Tesoro over to another shaft that's smaller and lighter and stuff, and than the regular shaft. And she come home this evening. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm switching shafts so I can get it in the car and stuff when we drive." And she's like, "Yeah, of course you are." And I'm like, "Yeah, right. So I can take more detectors." And I said, I've got one being shipped to Mom's house for when I'm back there." And she's like, "Yeah, of course you are. Of course you got more detectors coming." I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah. So she just kind of rolls her eyes and deals with it, but she takes it pretty well. I mean, there's worse things, right? There's worse things. Worse things to be addicted to, worse things to spend money on, so yeah, Katie said she'd like to hear it from her. We could probably get her on sometime, but she'll definitely put me in my place for sure. She'll tell you all about how I've got too many detectors. Yeah, Mike said his wife gets tired of the fines not in one spot. Yeah. I'm horrible about this. Like, I've got little Tupperware sitting all over with junk in it and, clad coins. And, like, I'll walk in the door and I'll just pick one of them and throw my stuff in, and they kind of get around the house a little bit. And I think she gets tired of that sometimes, but she don't give me too hard of a time. Yeah, she said she's got a phone call at 8 for school, and yeah. Don asked if you can post a picture in chat. No, you can't. I wish we could, but no, we cannot. But yeah. What else, Jeff? You are lucky to have a spouse that enjoys it with you. That's great. And I know she goes and hunts with you and stuff too, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, Katie does everything with me, and I give her a lot of credit because it seems like whatever I enjoy to do, she enjoys to do, as long as she gets to be there. So
yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I hope this. I'm already in trouble with her, so it's okay. I hate talking on the phone with her because she's so in love with you. And so, I mean, she just goes on, and I'm like, oh my God, I get it. Jeff's a great guy. Let's talk about metal detecting. But then on the same hand, like, I don't want to give it away, but you told her to submit something and stuff, and like, the way you were talking about her, I messaged her, and I'm like, oh my God, your man loves you so much, and I mean, I think it's awesome that you two enjoy stuff together and get out together. And Matt's here in chat now. I guess it's now a good time to talk about Matt. Hopefully he doesn't go back and listen to the beginning where we were trash talking him and everybody agreed that I'm by far the better detectorist. We took a poll and it was 100%, Matt, that I'm the better detectorist.
1-0.
Yeah, it was real good. But no, I think that's awesome that you two, I suspect that she's not into deer hunting at all. You know what I mean? But she the fact that she'll go out with you and do that and stuff is so awesome. But metal detecting, I totally sense she's into it, and I think one good find, and I think it's over. I think she's gonna be dragging you around.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. I think that would be a good, healthy competition. You're right, though. She gets into it enough to, have a good conversation with and everything. We had, talk about hunting real quick. She was with me when we were at our camp in Pennsylvania. We were deer hunting, and during the day, I ended up getting really sick, and I just could not go out in the woods. I just laid in bed, and she was fine, and she was all bummed I was sick. So instead of taking care of me, she goes, puts on her camo, and she goes out in the woods and just sits in the woods, even though she doesn't hunt, just to see if she could see the deer. So.
Oh, that is funny.
But
We just got
would
another call
kill.
in. Let me see. Who do we have?
The one and only.
Oh man, your number didn't come through right. We took a poll, Matt, and everybody agrees I'm a lot better hunter. You there? I'm sorry. I think I accidentally hit mute.
You know, I mean, they might agree, but you know, the facts and reality are two different things, man. So
yeah, true.
You know,
True.
I mean, what can I say? Hey, that's all right. I like when people are generally wrong.
Right.
So.
In this case, they're generally not. I mean, I can't wait till Randy's old enough to pick up a detector and him and I go out in the field and he kicks your butt. That's going to be fun.
He might.
He might.
Well, I mean, he'll probably out-detect you in about a year or two, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That won't take
that's
much.
pretty easily done. I mean, that's simple. That's a simple task. No, I don't know, man. I don't know why I joke with you so much, Matt. I just enjoy it. But, you know, I told people, you know, as much as we joke, when you come down, I want to try out different detectors and compare them in some, you know, some legit field site, not in a test garden and ridiculous stuff like that.
We'll have to shoot some video, too. I'll have to make you up I'm going to make some Rumble in Ohio shirts, and I'll make up some shirts I'll make a few of them.
I got to tell you something I'm going to say on air that's really just, there's a guy that does YouTube videos, and I'm not going to mention his name, but man, does this guy get on my nerves. And what gets on my nerves so bad is he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he talks with so much authority. And so he does a video on this detector. It's an analog detector. You don't want this detector. You want one with a VDI. There ain't no reason to buy something like this. And these people are saying this is going to be a really good detector. Yeah, this is stupid. Those people are stupid. I mean, he's just an arrogant, rude, know-it-all, and I'm so tired. I somehow he's gained a lot of popularity. I didn't even realize it was his video until I clicked on it, and then I watched, because I won't watch his videos. I've seen other videos where he's acting an idiot and spouting off the mouth stuff he doesn't know about. It's just, man, I hate those people. I do. And
let me ask you this: Does he primarily just testing out different detectors? Is that what he's doing in the videos?
Yeah, yeah. I call him Calababy because he sounds like a big baby, man. He's just oh my God! Don't listen to that guy. Look, me and Matt joke and we act like we're so good. Matt and I are both decent detectorists. I mean,
I'm not going to say I'm the best. Well, I might say I'm the best, but not in being serious. I'm not going to say I'm the worst.
There's so many aspects of this hobby. I am no way an expert. Things that I feel like I'm more of an expert at, I'm really not, because I'm still learning. I mean, you're always learning, but my God, I just, man, that guy drives me crazy. And people will send me his videos. What's funny, there's a group of people that will send me his videos, like laughing and poking fun of him. I don't even want to see him. I don't care. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with him. But there's got to be a group of people that are also, on the other hand, like listening to this guy and making there's purchases being made off of his craziness. I've never, if you have a test garden that big, I have no respect for you. I'm sorry. I'm just if I've only watched a couple of his videos, and I have yet to see him detect. Now, I don't do detecting videos. When I go out detecting, I might when I go. I'm telling myself when I go back to Ohio, I'm going to do some videos. The reality of it is I probably won't, because when I get out, that's my escape from everything. I want to go metal detecting. I don't want to take the time to do videos. That's just me, but man, this guy gets on my nerves. He's got a test garden. It looks like, I mean, that thing's got to be 5 acres. I'm kidding, but just in every video I've seen him trashing a detector or talking a detector up is how it handles his test garden. I'm not saying that there's no valuable information to be gained from a test garden, but make or break a detector on a test garden is ridiculous. I mean, absolutely absurd.
I understand that 100%. I mean, I don't put all my faith in test gardens. They're good for some things. They're definitely can give you valuable insight into, certain things and ways and stuff a detector may react. But I mean, unless you build a test garden, let it there for 20, 30, 40 years and have multiple different types of soil and different there's just, you're not replicating reality. And
no,
I think that's the biggest part of it.
For those who might watch those and get something, I'm not saying there's no knowledge to be gained from that. But let me say this. For those who disagree with me, go bury a coin 6 inches in the yard and a clear area and nothing's there. And mark it so you know how to go up to it, and then try your different detectors. Try a handful of detectors. Now, have somebody take a coin out, bury it 6 inches. You don't, and let's say a 20-foot by 20-foot area. And now go find it amongst trash and iron and other stuff, and then tell me you're going to judge the detectors the same, how they performed on that one single target with nothing else in the ground compared to how it is in that trash, that somebody buried there. It's totally different.
Mike, it reminds me so much of, I've taken some of these tests back in the day, not to see if I had a brain or not, because that was already concluded a long time ago. I don't.
No, but hold on, Matt. I want to say, I do want to say, though, that there is some information that can be gathered by it. Don't get me wrong, but don't make or break a detector on that stuff. That's not right.
Well, if you're going to judge a detector solely on a test garden, that's like, if that's like judging someone just strictly based on their looks, whether you like them or not. And test gardens offer some reliable information. They do offer some good information, but you have to put a machine through real world applications and
right.
Different sites and different types of stuff and different types of trash and different.
I mean,
before you can really make that decision. Depends what you're hunting too, I guess.
If I get a new digital detector, I will go pound a trashy park and dig trash, and then, okay, a 23 has been a pull tab a bunch of times. Okay, I'm going to stay away from 23 for now. Here's an 86. This has been a quarter. Let me dig now. Okay, 86. And that's how you learn, not by going and sweeping that detector over a test garden. Now, a test garden is great to see depth capabilities, what more you might be able to get out of it. Like if you don't hit an 8-inch or 10-inch coin, okay, let me see how I can adjust this out and hit those deeper targets, or even if I can. Now, let me see what the tone sounds like on a dime at 8 inches. Let me see what, how it reacts on this 10-inch dime. How well does it pick it up? I mean, there's a bit of information that can be gathered. Don't get me wrong, but when you're doing videos and you're trying to help people decide what they want to buy and stuff, and you're going solely off a test garden, you're ridiculous. Somebody needs to. People like that. I wish that there was. There's just so much misinformation. He's not the only one, but he's the most arrogant, rude, just idiot out there. I posted a video. It's been less than a year, but around a year ago, and in response to one of his, he won't allow people to respond to his on his YouTube channel, which I think is absolutely absurd. If you're going to sit there and make those kind of claims, you should be able to talk to people and back up why you feel the way you do. And he doesn't. He's one of those. But I responded to it, and he responded, and I just let it go. But my God, I just can't. Man, he's like the worst offender I've seen. And I know people have heard me say this before, but we do have new people. If you see somebody using a test board, click off. That test board is ridiculous. There is nothing to be gained from a test board.
There's nothing to be gained from that, really.
Where there's a little bit of information that can be gathered from a test garden, still take it with a grain of salt. There's nothing to be gained by a test board. I'm sorry, there's not. I don't want to hurt feelings. I don't want to piss anybody off, excuse my language, but there's not. I've seen those stupid test boards used over and over to make and break detectors, and I couldn't tell you how many times I disagree, not because of my own test bed or test board, but from going out and using the detectors. It's absolutely absurd. And I wish those people would just stop it. If you don't know any better, say it. I'll get emails every now and then or calls, mostly emails or messages asking me questions. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. Or, hey, here's what I think, but you might want to talk to this person too. It's about sharing information. And this guy gets on there and he just... Man, he's just a jerk, and he doesn't. The detector he's talking about, I don't know personally yet. I will soon. But what he was saying was, you don't want an analog detector. These digital detectors will do so much better. I'm telling you, and I'm going to prove this to Matt when I get back to Ohio. One thing I hope to do is run some analog detectors side by side with him with a digital and compare, does this one pick up the same? Does that, does your digital pick up what my analog found? Does my analog pick up what your digital found? My experience and a lot of hours in the field is analog's the way to go. Are there some digitals that do it really good as well? Absolutely. For sure. But you give me an analog all day long in the fields and the heavy iron. And what this last video of his I watched, he brought up coins and stuff. I think he's a coin hunter, and that's fine. Talk about what you know. But when you're saying this analog detector isn't any good and you need to buy this or that, you don't want that thing. When you don't have the experience in a certain area, when you don't understand what could be appealing about that detector, because you don't have the knowledge, don't pass it off based on your knowledge and your experience. You know what I mean? Or lack thereof. Did we put Jeff asleep? I'm sorry, Jeff. Jeff's probably.
Well, I mean, obviously, you should definitely. Everybody's going to have their own opinion and judgment on any particular machine, but, I think the biggest thing is watch, spread that out. Watch a ton of different varieties of videos with people testing and using those machines. And I think what you'll see is, well, you could probably find, on any machine, you can find a ton of people who say, yeah, it's an awesome machine, or just take a review on Amazon for any product. You find a ton of people that say, yeah, this thing's amazing. And then there's always there's always a pile of people that'll give it like 1 star and say just everything bad about it, which, you know, I don't know. It's tough to watch even video, because a video, you know, is really nothing, especially when they're reviewing a detector or showing a detector. I mean, it's nothing more than, you know, just a video that is showing their opinion, not necessarily,
No, I
get
any
that.
other thing I don't have a problem with having your opinion.
But I agree with what you're saying, though, is that when people,
he doesn't have enough,
he doesn't
have enough experience in the hobby to say, you know, I wouldn't buy this for coin hunting, but if you're dealing with a lot of iron, consider it, or, you know, that kind of thing, because he doesn't have the experience. You know, I mean,
yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, I hate to see someone make judgment or make a decision on a machine based on something like that when, you know, it may not be coming from a credible source or from a source that's tested stuff, you know, properly and done a thorough research of the machine and its ins and outs and stuff like that. So, I mean, it definitely happens. And yeah, I've seen a lot of garbage videos too on YouTube and whatnot, but you know, I take them with a grain of salt anyhow. I mean, unless it's George, I trust everything George says all the time.
I don't. George is crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I
like George. George is really a wealth of
he is.
Knowledge. But here's the thing: he still has his own opinions. You know, there's plenty of people that like the Equinox. He doesn't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, what do you say about that? It's everybody has their own opinion, but I think when you're really trying to pass judgment on something and to get people to believe that, and especially newer people to the hobby when they don't know any better necessarily, it is tough to overcome some of the stuff you see out there. And I can understand your frustration when you watch some of that, when people, you know, they talk like they know everything in the world when they really don't.
Well, and what makes me, what upsets me about it, I couldn't care less, other than there are people wanting to get into this hobby or so new to it they need help, and you know, they come across this guy's video and like, oh, well, I don't want that detector. You know, this guy says it's horrible, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'll give you an example. If what I understand what Don's saying, Don Scott's, and it must be the same. I'm sure it's the same guy. He hammered AT Pros and then wouldn't man up and have anyone come back for an educated discussion. If you
I know exactly who you're talking about.
If you hammer an AT Pro, I have no respect for you. Look, I don't use an AT Pro. I've got one. I sold it. I'm selling it. I want more.
It's tried and proven. It's a good machine.
I want more. I want more than turn on and go. I don't like the shaft design of it. There's things that I'm not a huge fan of. But if you're going to knock the performance of the AT Pro in that price range, even now that thing is probably pushing 10 years old. It is still, I will still tell people starting out who want a really good detector and who will spend the money, go for an AT Pro. You know, they're still they're still relevant. And my God, look at the stuff they have found over the years. How dare you? You don't have to like an AT Pro. You don't have to, you know, I don't care, but if you don't respect what that machine's capable of and what it did to the hobby, you don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but it's true. Look what Bill Marsh is in chat. Look at that guy's finds, what he's found with an AT Pro. You know, it's a waterproof. When that thing come out, there was nothing like it. And although that there's detectors like it, I think you can get them now for around $430, $440, something like that. Don't hold me to it, but you can get them very reasonable. So the multi-cruiser, the Amphibio, the 800, or the Equinox series, all those have tried to copy that, and probably without a doubt in some ways are better detectors, but they're also a lot more expensive. You know, nobody has come out and done what Garrett did with that AT Pro. And I'm telling you what, you can go out with an AT Pro, you can find deep silver coins. One of the best in the business as far as I'm concerned still. Is it the best? No. But at that price range, is there anything else that comes close? Nothing I know of. You can relic hunt with it very successfully. Ask Bill. And yet he's going to knock the AT Pro. I mean, that's the type of person he is. He's absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. The AT Pro. I mean, no doubt. I mean, when that came out, it filled a huge void in the market for people who really wanted a decent quality machine that worked well in a price range that was affordable. And you know, that's the reason it did so well, is not only was it affordable, but it worked like it should.
Yeah.
It's a good detector. It's flat out a good detector. For anybody to say that it's junk, that are there better detectors? Yes, absolutely. But is that junk? By no means. Not one bit.
No.
It's an awesome machine for that price range.
If somebody wanted to get into the hobby, they didn't know much about detectors, they wanted something that they could relic hunt with, they could go deeper, you know, find silver coins, that's still what I would recommend. I mean, it really
what
is.
I always
now,
recommend to people,
I mean,
actually.
Now, the multi-cruiser and Amphibio, I think they're not much harder. They're very simple because even the changes you make, you don't need to know. Or, you know, there's things that you don't need to know, and everything's on the screen and it's easy. But I don't know of anything as easy as an AT Pro that has that kind of performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely, I mean, I agree. I don't know of any machine for what that's capable of doing for the price range. You know, when that, especially, like I said, when that came out, when you're stacking it up against these top-end, high-end machines, here's a machine that not only works very well, you can be very successful with, is very easy to use, but comes in super cheap and seems to hold up. I mean, I put mine through the ringer, and you know, I never had a single issue with it. It held up very well. So
yeah, to this day, the E-Track is still the best deep silver seeking detector I've ever used.
Yeah,
it IDs properly.
I still agree.
You agree with that? Now, there's other people who disagree, and that's okay. And maybe there's some detectors I haven't used that are as good or better. But I spent about a year metal detecting with Scott down in Lancaster. Bought an AT Pro, and he was new, and he was constantly wanting to compare signals. And time after time after time, his AT Pro just blew me away. And it was really right up there with the E-Track. I mean, was it as good? I mean, I'd still choose the E-Track over it. Don't get me wrong. But when you're comparing at the time a $500 detector versus a $1,500 detector, was that extra $1,000 worth it? No. No way. Not to me. And be hard to do. That's how good a performance it is. But anyhow, we kind of got off the subject here, and we've still got probably Scott. Maybe he's just fell asleep and he's okay. Maybe he's
maybe you hung up on him and don't know.
No, I checked. I think he's still there.
Okay.
The Simplex. Don Scott brought up the Simplex.
Yeah.
He's saying it might be another one like the AT Pro. I'm telling you what, man, I have high hopes for it.
So do I.
I hate to say too much before I put one in my hands, but I don't know if anybody's seen, I think it was this last week, somebody posted a video of the Simplex versus the 800 on depth. Now, take it with a grain of salt. It was a freshly buried coin. It'd be like a test garden. The 800 was struggling on that coin, and the Simplex picked it up easy. that's impressive. Now, how does it work in trash and iron, and how does it latch on? And those things you can't even. There's no comparison yet. That'll take time getting it in the hands of users, and we'll see. But that in itself is very promising. Very promising. I think the more I see, the more excited I am. And I'll tell you, I've been excited since the beginning. Talking to Dealick and stuff, she said it was going to be big. And I definitely agree now. And, I think every now and then, every few years, maybe every 10 years, something comes along that really stands out. It's a super killer buy for what you get. The AT Pro. I don't know. Is the Equinox the last one? I'm not sure. Maybe. I would say before that it was the AT Pro. The AT Pro is legendary. Somebody needs to do a Hall of Fame, and that needs to be in a Hall of Fame. But I have hopes for this, for the Simplex to be there, to be in that. I really think. All right, no, I shouldn't say I think. I think there's a possibility, but I really hope everything I'm hearing stuff. I hope it's that next big one. Like, wow, $300 detector, and this is comparable to these high-end detectors, like the AT Pro did. When the AT Pro came out, if you wanted to find silver coins, the most successful thing I seen was an E-Track at the time, or an Explorer series. You're talking $1,200 and up. And, like people talked about the F-75, the T2 and stuff, those were out then. Good detectors, but would they find silver like an E-Track? No, I'm sorry, but they wouldn't. An AT Pro comes in a real close second to like an E-Track Explorer. Yep.
Yeah, the E-Track, I mean, I don't think it's arguable. The E-Track was hands down a silver killer. It's better than a 3030 in my opinion still, and I use the 3030 that's one of my main machines to use. I still think it was better than 3030. Now the 3030 is a little better all around for some other things, but the E-Track, was just crazy. But I will say that I killed a lot. Man, I did good. I pounded a lot of silver with the AT Pro back in the day too. That machine's not a joke. I mean, that's definitely a machine that should have been, at the time and still even today should be taken seriously. And for anybody to say it's junk, they don't know the machine or don't know how to use it. That's all. I mean,
which is
unless they're in an area with ridiculous soil. Other than that, there should be no reason anybody should ever say that machine wasn't a player in the market, because it sure as hell was.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate when people do that. I mean, you don't have to like it for your area. You don't have to like how it's set up or the weight or whatever. But if you don't respect what that detector is and what it accomplished, right now, these detectors that are under $1,000 that are performers, you can thank Garrett and the AT Pro for that. Absolutely, 100%.
Because it wouldn't have happened without that. You take the AT Pro out of that, it wouldn't have happened.
No, absolutely not. So if you don't understand that, if you don't get that, you are a lost cause, man. Just a lost cause. I don't know. That guy just gets on my last nerve.
With me and the Equinox, do I personally like the Equinox? No. But is it a good machine? Absolutely. I know plenty of people that have been very successful with it, really like it, and it can do good things. Is it the machine for me? No, not exactly, but that's okay. I won't knock that machine because, it is a good machine. It's just not one that I'm using. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me it reminds me when I've taken some tests. I was starting to say this earlier, like where you get these there's some aptitude tests and different things like that, and then they have a series of multiple choice answers, and I'm like, man, unless I can fill in what my reasoning is for choosing an answer, I don't want to choose any answer because there's, things aren't always black and white, yes and no, right and wrong. I mean, there's things are more complicated. Unfortunately, life's not that simple. And same with detectors. Things aren't always that simple. I mean, yeah, you can make a test card and you can get good information from it. If you're out there just doing strictly air test, unless you just want to hear some different sounds that the machine's capable of making, I don't know what air test will do for you better than, other than that. But I mean, everybody wants to make everything, very simple, and that's not the case. There's a lot of different factors and things that come into play, and unless you take that into account, you're really doing an injustice to yourself.
Right. And I don't know. I just, man, that guy is my number one. Just drives me crazy. I didn't know. Now that Don said that, I do remember somebody sending me a link to the video, but I won't watch his videos talking about how he's trashing Garrett now, and I didn't even watch it. And I bet that's the video that was sent to me, but I just, man, that guy, and every now and then you'll run across somebody who will trash the AT Pro, and I'm just like, how? I can't even wrap my mind. If you don't, you could hate the detector, but if you don't respect it enough to know what it is, what has fallen into place because of it, you're just, there's no hope for you.
I get in some forums sometimes and just seeing stuff that people post and write, and it always cracks me up when I see someone just straight, making fun of the AT Pro or saying just totally ridiculous, making ridiculous claims and statements about it. And I'm like, no, I don't respond because I don't really like to get into forums that much. I just like to read the stuff that people write sometimes. And yeah, it always cracks me up when I see stuff and, like, oh, the Deus is the best machine ever. AT Pro's a piece of junk. Okay, well, you're not comparing apples to apples, first of all, but second of all, that it's not right. I mean, it's not true, obviously. Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny when I see stuff like that.
Yeah, he said, Bill said, Mike, they trash it because it's ugly and doesn't cost $1,000. I think so. Katie said Mike is like a disgruntled spouse with this video guy. I'm telling you what, him and I can almost guarantee what would happen with somebody like him. Number one, either he would back down and stay away from me, or him and I would end up in a fist fight. I am serious. That's how bad this guy bothers me. Now let me explain. I'm not bothered for like me but literally people new to the hobby that need guidance, need help looking for answers, find his videos, and they're just being misled by his nonsense. And that drives me crazy. But I don't know. Yeah, I could just see him and I just going at it, man. He's so arrogant and such a know-it-all. I'm telling you what, I don't know him. I don't know his background. I would bet any detector that guy is been detecting less than 5 years. I really suspect that. I think that there's so many, when you watch one of his videos, and I've only watched a couple, I see things that he's basing his information on by his limited knowledge of the hobby, his limited knowledge of detectors and detecting, and it's just absurd. It's just absurd. Hey, Matt, I'm posting a picture right now. You're going to have to, in all metal mode, when you get a chance, you'll have to look at it. Anybody interested in all metal mode, I just posted a picture everybody I think will like to see.
Hopefully it's a picture of my face. That'll cheer everybody up.
Oh, that would just make everybody that would put an end to the show. They'd see your killer eyes, and that's why Katie and Jeff haven't come and met up with you. Jeff was like, dude, that guy's eyes, are you sure he's not murdering anybody? And I'm like, Jeff, just take a gun with you, buddy. Just put a pistol in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Don't turn your back on him, and it's okay. Yeah.
Nice try.
Yep. And I got in trouble.
Mike.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
I did have a question for you.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about the AT Pro being a good machine. How does that compare to the AT Max? Or is it just the same thing, just kind of wireless?
Man, I haven't used a Max, but talking to like Gypsy, who else have there's been a couple people. I'm trying to think who else I've talked to about the Max. I think it's a good detector. Really good. I think it is different. You know, you've got a threshold. Also Keith Wills, East Texas Metal Detectors. He uses a Max, and they both talk about N iron, how it does better, picks that stuff out, and I think it's a really good detector. Now, here's my issue with it. I think it's a really good detector. From what I hear, I haven't used one, but one of the things that I've said before is they still kept it in that bulky housing. It's on the heavy side. It takes four batteries, 4 AA's that go into the head unit, which make it heavier. Everything's going to rechargeable. And the Simplex, the Amphibio, the Multi-Cruiser, the 800, C-Scopes coming. They're all these really flat you're looking at a flat little screen. They're rechargeable. And I really think that's where Garrett messed up, keeping the batteries in the housing, keeping the same housing and all that. But as far as performance-wise, I mean, I've seen a guy do a video that's pretty reputable when it was first coming out, and it's deeper. He says it's deeper. Gypsy says it's deeper. She talks about how much better it does in the iron. So I think it's a good, solid detector. For sure.
Yeah, Mike, I haven't used the AT Max either. That's a machine I'd still like to get and play with one of these days. But in speaking with Gypsy, obviously, she seems to like it.
Bill just said, I gotta read this. I just got the Max. After using the AT Pro for so long, it was like using an old girlfriend who just had liposuction and came back hotter. So he's liking the Max from the sounds of it. It's like having a hotter girlfriend. Cool. I think it's a solid, good performer. I think it's not as popular as the AT Pro was, but because when the AT Pro come out, they were bulkier, heavier, still not rechargeable for the most part, and then but now with the Max coming out, then everything's gone to rechargeable and lighter weight and more ergonomic, and the Max really didn't take that step. They did, from what I hear, make some really good improvements performance wise. Yeah. And I think another thing that hurt it not changing the look, Don said I think they would have done better changing the look. I think in the beginning, a lot of people that used AT Pros, you got to remember the AT Pro is a turn on and go detector. The Max, you gotta adjust it a little bit depending on the conditions. So guys were running their sensitivity too high, and it was falsing. And I feel like a bunch of these people that loved the AT Pro went to the Max and thought it was going to be just as easy, just the same. And it wasn't. So there was some really bad feedback going on. There were a lot of people not real happy with their performance. But then you talk to, I know the Gypsy got a lot of people on track with it, explaining some things to them with it. So I think those two things together really hurt it. It's still a very popular detector, though.
Mike, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
In your, I saw. I'm looking at your Tesoro with your shaft on it. 2 questions. Question 1 on that. Is that the Mojave?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the high and low? What does that toggle switch do on that machine?
The high and low is for, now I got to be honest with you, I've never used this detector. I've had it about a year and I haven't even, the high and low is for your ground. Instead of having like ground balance, if you're
so high mineralization, low mineralization.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's all.
And second question for you is that a unicorn Band-Aid under the
No, read it. It's unicorn duct tape. Unicorn duct tape.
Unicorn duct tape.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just looking at the picture. I didn't see unicorn. I didn't even see the caption there. I just was looking at the picture.
Yeah, unicorn duct tape.
That's funny.
So I've got girls. Of course, I don't have regular duct tape or black duct tape or something. I've got, so like the piece that I'm using, my handle is for a bigger shaft, and I don't have one right now for that size shaft. So I'm like, okay, I guess what I'll do is, so yeah. So I did that, and I'm looking for tape, any black tape, electric tape, duct tape, and that's what my girls bought was unicorn duct tape. So that's how that happened. Lucky me.
Mike, I'm gonna have to jump off here. My aunt's calling me. She needs to talk to me. So, but I want to say, I'm drawing a blank. Bill Marsh. I still owe him a towel. I was supposed to send him a digging towel, and it's still sitting on my desk. I will take that out tomorrow morning and send it out.
Bill, look for it sometime next summer, buddy. Heads up.
I got all my other stuff out. Your buddy Mike was happy with the stuff I sent him. He said it looked good, so that makes me happy. And yeah, so.
Oh, look at Steph. Steph said BS. He picked it. Don't let him fool you. I did not pick unicorn duct tape, but I will say I'm not unhappy with it either. I like unicorns. Monkey has got me into unicorns. Don't judge me. Nothing wrong with unicorns.
Maybe we ought to instead of purple detector, maybe we need to make a unicorn detector.
Right? Maybe I should just duct tape the whole thing and then unicorn duct tape.
Purple unicorn detector.
Okay, get going.
Matt,
get going, Matt.
Before you jump off, I wanted to let you know that I am looking forward to meeting up with you, and maybe you can show me a couple things on the ORX and.
Definitely. We need to meet up because granted, I'm not a master on that machine by any means. I found some very interesting things out just, playing with that machine and trying different stuff. And specifically with how you ground balance that and being able to pick up pottery pieces and stuff like that. There's some real cool stuff that you seem to be able to do with that. Now, I suspect that you can do that on the dais. I've never owned a dais myself, so I don't know, but I was kind of really taken back and impressed by some of the things that I was able to pick up and just little. There's certain, man, I have to show it to you. Like you can certain sounds you can get that thing to make in like these kind of in between tones with it that like got this extra. No, I don't know how to even explain it, and I've been able to pull out some really amazing. Cool bigger iron relic pieces that were really cool that I've never done with any other machine I've ever owned. There's a lot of cool things that machine seems to be capable of doing.
You need to get those guys down in a field site before they come to Dayton.
Well, I got a good site. I mean, I have to maybe I'll swing past it and see where he's at because I know the one field site that's done really well with that machine was all hay, and now it's corn. It might be down already.
Katie, man, I get like, okay, guys, Oh, Matt, go ahead and get going, buddy. I'm sorry, we're keeping you. Take that call.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
sorry.
please text me.
I gotta get
Please
going.
text me and let me know how everything is.
Yeah, I'll let you know what's going on.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Yep. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye. But I hear the excitement in Katie's voice and stuff, and nothing makes me happier than to even if it's just a small contribution. I love helping people new to the hobby, and I love to be able to help or know that I gave, even if it's something small that'll help you guys find something, man. And to hear the excitement in her voice sometimes, the few times we've talked, I just feel like she's going to find something good and it's all going to click and make sense. And she's going to be like, oh, and I think by far the best place is a field site. So, once you get used to your machine stuff, I'm telling you, you guys have no idea how much history is in the ground around you and old coins and relics and stuff. It's incredible. And once you start understanding everything, and it all kind of makes sense. But if we can jumpstart that and if you guys can hook up with Matt or something, I'm telling you, he'll take you to a field site and you'll have good finds that day. You'll find something. You'll find an old 150-year-old button, a large cent, something. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man, that sounds so exciting.
I
can't wait till I say I found something cooler than Jeff, and I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Yeah, we talked bad about Jeff, but the more we talk, like, you're kind of the mean one, I think. Stealing towels and rings and everything. So, yeah. Maybe I need to do a class on etiquette and have you make sure Jeff signs you up for that. It sounds like you're pretty rough on him. Just saying. But no, I really wish you guys would.
Did you hear the story about the 3 metal detectors that he bought without telling me?
Easier to ask for permission.
I didn't bring that up in my disgruntled life.
Yeah, easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. That's all I'm saying.
He's just lucky that I got a detector out of that.
Right. Yeah, I can't say anything to that because I once bought a brand new ATV and didn't tell my wife at the time.
Ooh,
so.
Don't give him any ideas.
Yeah. I was just like, ta-da, surprise. Yeah, that went over like a lead balloon. Yeah. But
I'm sure.
Yeah. Bill said one good site will spoil a person, and it'll force you to do more research and find more sites. Like, seriously, you'll get. I mean, what I think will happen with both of you, I think you both are already very interested. You get on a good site and you see what it's about, and you're just going to be. Jeff, I used to be a deer hunter. I grew up hunting. I'd get off of school and I would go hunt almost every single day that season was in. If I wasn't rabbit hunting or squirrel hunting or deer, I mean, it was something. I grew up with that. I mean, fishing, man, it's all summer long. I was at the lake or down at the river fishing, and man, metal detecting took my life over. It's been an addiction. I mean, there's worse things to be addicted to, but I don't know, man. It just completely changed me. And I'm not saying it'll do that to you, but I do think you guys find something good, like Bill said. It's like all of a sudden you're like, wow, and to think you're holding something that somebody dropped that meant something to them 150 years ago, is a pretty incredible feeling. It's really undescribable.
Yeah, and that's what I'm in for. It's not to go out and find a treasure chest anywhere. I mean, that's all cool and everything, but it's the chasing the history and what's the story behind it. That I think is really the draw for me.
even though you guys haven't found much on that property yet, and I think there's still good, I think you guys will at Chaz's place, isn't it? I mean, that, your oh geez, what's it called? Your for your needle. The end for the needle is
the syringe.
Syringe. That's what I was trying to think of. I mean, knowing what he was and stuff. I mean, like if you just was walking through those woods and you found that's really not a cool find. I don't mean to sound rude, but knowing that went to a syringe and that he was a doctor, that is a cool piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually, Katie found that actually.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Really jealous for that.
Yeah,
and she had more signals in that area, and we didn't really know exactly what we were doing. And I told her, I said, don't dig any more in this area. Let's go someplace else. And
no,
she reminds me of that. She reminds me of that a lot.
That was my first time out, I think, besides the practice run in the yard.
Very first time using a metal detector, she found that.
Wow.
And he's like, don't dig anymore. And I'm like, I just want to dig this one more spot. And I dug it up, and I'm like, well, I don't know what this is, but I put it in my bag, and we
that is
like
so
we found
cool.
out later.
Like that find, like if you just found that at a park, you wouldn't think anything about it. But knowing the history of the property, like that makes that find really special, in my opinion. Yeah. Bill said all it takes is that one find. Could care less about what it's worth, but when you do the research and learn about the history of a site, yeah, it's true, man. It's that's what it's about for me. Yeah. I appreciate it. Everybody and a lot of people in chat have mentioned articles like Gypsy's got an article on AT Max. Dorian talks about the passion getting the better of you, getting yourself in trouble. I think it was a really good issue, some really good articles and stuff. So thanks, Bill, for pointing those out and everybody else that pointed them out. Don't forget, check out dirtdigestmagazine.com. Don't forget to go to Dirt Digest Magazine Facebook group and help us pick a winner. Jeff, since we have him on the phone, he's going to tell you to pick his article for sure. And like I said, I don't know which article I like more. Like I said earlier, I got Terry Solomon's. I'm like, I don't think anybody can beat this. And then I got yours, and I'm like, ooh. I don't know now. It was that good. So, great job, guys. Yeah, Steph.
Well,
Steph. I love how Steph will listen in, but she just almost every time she jumps in chat, it's to give me a hard time. Tell people that I picked out the unicorn duct tape. Love you, baby. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jeez. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Katie said if I win, she'll shave her head and we'll put it on YouTube.
Awesome. Let's do that.
Katie didn't say that. Maybe Katie Yearly said that. You can go find her. Not this Katie, though.
That's funny. Steph jumped in once again, to say you're welcome. Yeah, that's my girl right there, boy. She, that's funny. Okay, you two ready to wrap it up? Do you guys have anything bad to say about each other real quick or anything before we go?
No, I think we got that all there.
No, I got a couple of things.
No.
I got a couple of things to say. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for having us on the show. It's been really just connecting with All Metal Mode over the past couple of months, being new to the hobby and coming on and hearing what you guys have to say and being in the chat and just being able to ask questions and hear stories and hear people's advice has been really, really fun and helped to keep me interested in it even when we're not finding things or I'm not really understanding my detector or that kind of thing. It's just been really great to connect. So thanks to you for running it and to everyone who's a part of it.
Oh, thank you. We all enjoy it. I mean, Dorian, Matt, Gypsy, Amanda, we all love metal detecting and helping people. And And that's why we do it. And, we have some really great listeners and people that come and chat week in, week out, and we just love it and appreciate it. You guys really should think about, I know everything's busy. I think Matt's got a pretty flexible schedule right now. You guys, I really hope you guys will take advantage of that. He'll so get you out and help you with your detectors and take you to a good spot and find something. Just don't turn your back on him. One of you keep an eye on him. I've never had any trouble. I one of these days with those eyes, he's going to snap and go on a killing rage. So I don't think we're there yet, though. I don't think we're there yet. But, yeah.
Well, he hasn't detected Katie yet.
Right. Ask him questions, Katie. He'll help you out. He will help you. You keep him busy and you let Jeff find everything. No, I'm kidding. That's what you do as a couple. Like that should be your game plan. One of you keep the person that took you hunting. No, that would be under bad etiquette again.
I was gonna say I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike, and thanks for all the listeners for putting up with us. And actually, for the time we have listened and participated in chat, we got some really good tips and advice from everyone. So
we got some good people.
We both thank you.
Thank you guys for coming on, and I've had so much fun talking to both of you, and looking forward to meeting you when I get back to Ohio.
Sounds good.
Good night. All right, everybody, there's the show. I had a lot of fun talking to poor Katie. I dragged her on to do that. She was freaking out, but she did great, and she really let me push it talking about Jeff. But no, they have a great relationship and good to each other and just joke a lot, and it was a lot of fun. Good night, everybody, and we will see you next week.